Welcome back to Late Night Racing, and we are getting everything set up for the race around the Yas Marina circuit. This circuit, of course, 21 corners and, well, a lot to think about between the three sectors. Sector 2, of course, offering some of the best overtaking opportunities on this track with 2 DRS zones, but the drivers will need to be careful and not to pull the trigger too early, as overtaking into turn number 8 can present a counterattack for your rival through turn number 11 on that second DRS straight. Then, of course, the technical final sector that makes drivers so prone to mistakes around here and so tough to keep close to the car in front through the dirty air.
So overachieve. Once somebody retires from the race, maybe nobody will retire.
That is a very astute point there, Biggles, actually, is the fact that somehow it slipped through our grasp as we're about to get started with the race here in Abu Dhabi. Yoda starting on the medium tires from 4th position, and we'll see if he can make an impression against these leaders. We are on our way here for the race, and Yoda getting a phenomenal start 4 wide, immediately behind them then in this first corner as our drivers go through. No incidents just yet, and Yoda up into P3, and King Lux making a move past Ant and dropping down to P9, but side by side, oh my goodness, and we have a collision in the back between the Renaults. It looks like an Ariel Turkey suffering some serious damage. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, obviously I lost quite a bit of my stream as that was happening, so I'm listening to your commentary thinking I'm actually listening to the radio, and I can actually picture myself here at Abu Dhabi while I desperately try and get back into the race.
Great stuff. Well, yeah. We will wait on you to get back here as we're on board with Rifler 2 by 2. There's 2 pairs going side by side in front of him into turn 8, keeping nice and careful to avoid contact, and that is Domi making it past Squad, or at least trying to, as we have the Ferrari of Outer Rim directly in front, trying to make his way past King Lux in the racing point. The Ferrari's going to look down the inside, ooh, sticking his nose in, but just unable to make that spot. Not quite brave enough to try to send a move down the inside of one of these corners, but of course, low on grip on those mediums at the start of the race is Outer Rim, and he will have to slot himself into 10th for the time being. Pervious twitching out the rear end on exit from 1, and Quad running wide on exit. The 2 cars having opposite issues with the opposite axles of their car. Is Quad going to send it down the inside? He does, side by side with Impervious, and wow, Impervious spins out. Unfortunately, as a result of that combat there and brief yellow flags in Sector 1, jumping up a little bit to Relapse here, who's starting to hunt down Tony Montana. Right on the back of King Lux now, still Domi immediately behind him, so it is a pass or be passed. But now let's see if those medium tires are going to offer him any more grip as he is squeezing past that racing point. Now still side by side, 3 wide through the following corner. And is that going to be Domi squeezing his way up into 9th, taking 2 cars in 1 corner? It will be. What a phenomenal move. Down the inside of the Williams immediately in front of him, and there's yellow flags and a spun Williams up ahead. We will see that car in just a moment. That looks like Larson there immediately behind. Now these guys losing a phenomenal amount of time following a spin, and that is still Adaro making a mistake on exit from turn number, that is 6. And that's going to put him in significant jeopardy on this following straight. Should still be close enough for DRS on the 3rd lap. That's right, that wing is opened, but Iceman not even using his battery. Go ahead, Bagels.
And Relapse battling it out with Tony Montana at the moment. Side by side. Going to get the DRS in front. Who will get it? That will be the McLaren getting the DRS, but he's going to have to tuck in behind. Actually, sorry, my apologies. It's the Alfa Romeo getting the DRS. Alfa Romeo is still remaining in front of Relapse, up 3 positions from the start of this race.
Are going through these corners, but that's going to set up Adaro for a side-by-side move into that tricky corner number 17 that we were talking about. Both drivers nearly locking up, and that is Quad getting shunted back behind Iceman, nearly behind Rifler as Adaro makes his way past. Racing point, it looks like Iceman and Adaro closing in to within inches of Outer Rim, but Outer Rim ever closer to the racing point. King Lux moving defensively to the inside of turn number 8. And the Ferrari looking for the switchback now out of the chicane to get a better racing line behind them. Iceman and Adaro going side by side as well on exit. And now Outer Rim has all the purchase he needs out of that slow chicane to get a great run down the straight. And that is the Ferrari driver up into P9.
And Iceman's about to do the same thing on Adero, just behind them, with Quad as well. Big chain forming there between Adero, Quad, Iceman, and Spooky Impervious.
These drivers,
line of stern.
These drivers picking up a multitude of warnings here as they cut every corner several times. And wow, the Racing Point driver practically pushing the Williams along through the second. I wonder if there's that must be a desync. Yep. That must be a desync, as I think Iceman just didn't have Quad on his screen there. It looked like he just went right through Quad's Williams. Very unfortunate for Quad, of course, but these disconnections do happen. That is the unfortunate reality of the state of the F1 2010 game for the time being.
It's one of the McLaren drivers. I haven't got the names up there, but I do have numbers. We got 5-second penalty for them. I think we've got a Racing Point 5-second penalty as well. So they will come thick and fast. So we'll look out for that. It's Iceman, I believe. Yeah, Iceman, and I think it's Rifler, or hopefully not Tony. It's Rifler because he boxed. So yeah.
That's right. We're about to get racing again now as the drivers round out the final corner, and immediately Tony Montana twitching out the rear end on those softs, and that enables Domi to make an overtake right into the first corner. Not really waiting around is Domi, and hitting the ground running on those medium tires, having much more grip now than Tony on his aged tires, and Tony offering that sort of a human shield against the likes of Richie and Pika. Richie sneaking an overtake past Tony immediately into the final few corners of the first sector, slotting right in behind Domi. Meanwhile, immediately ahead of them, MRL Yoda keeping his first position and trying to sneak away from this pack on those medium tires while they still have grip. Likely, this race is a one-stop for him, so he needs to clear Ace Richie as much as he can. Meanwhile, Pika moving for a move past, oh my goodness, past Tony, but just going a little too far into the first corner of that chicane, turn 8, and losing out significantly on exit due to that poor line. Now coming under a barrage of attacks from Volendrug. Volendrug moving that Alfa Romeo to the outside line now of turn number 11. Is he going to be able to stick it all the way? No. Pika shuts off that inside line, says, no thanks, you're going to have to try again next lap.
Forward to have it something. Look at this battle up ahead. I'm watching it from Outer Rim's perspective. 3 abreast.
And that's 2 abreast now. Ooh, wow, as Pika sneaks a move past Tony Montana right on the apex after Volendrug put that McLaren off balance. And now it looks like Outer Rim sneaking his way past, twitching out the rear end, however, and losing a lot of pace on exit. Will this offer Ant an opportunity for a counterattack?
Yeah, interesting. There's quite a lot of drivers there battling for those lower 5 to 10 positions, and yeah, Outer Rim is racing pretty neatly. Always just
to make it stick. He's got fresh boots. You can't afford to get held up on those softs, can you? So early.
With carbon fiber off the Alpha Tauri there, yeah.
And gets past Tony as well. Tony losing 2 positions.
Tony just not loving those tires on board his car. Those softs are going off a cliff as everybody is just shooting past the McLaren driver on the second straight. Meanwhile, it's Alex Parita and Impervious going side by side through the S's here, and the Ferrari driver gets the upper hand on this occasion, moving himself up into 12th position. Not quite in a hurry to make it past Domi just yet. He's been behind the AlphaTauri driver for a few laps now, and maintaining some charge in his battery. Now it looks like Domi will in turn make a move past Relapse, going down the inside of the chicane, and just barely enough room there for Richie. I may have spoken too soon as he gets squeezed out beyond the limits of the track by Relapse on corner exit. Richie is not going to be particularly fond of that expression of driving, but unfortunately, he is going to have to slot in behind Relapse, at least for the next couple of corners, and crucially, Domi is going to start to slither away from Richie, as he does have a fairly similar compound of tires on. Now, on exit from turn 14 is Richie being able to get much more traction against Relapse and moving himself up into 3rd position. The next straight, and now it is all about this exit right here. Who can deal with this bump better? It looks like Domi just slipping away, but now with the DRS, with the battery, Richie is going to have all that extra pace being forced to the outside by the AlphaTauri driver, still wheel to wheel now through these corners. Just a little bit of room left on the inside for Richie, but Ace has the inside for the next corner, not allowing his rival to make a move just then. However, phenomenal on the throttle is the Red Bull driver, and now he is able to make his way up into 2nd position. What a phenomenal battle we just witnessed.
And a great battle with the Red Bull and the Ferrari of Outer, and they're going side by side here through this twisty section. And Ferrari of Outer's just gone off the circuit, took a wide line, and that's actually enabled King Lux to get to 7th place. He's gone straight into the back, I think, of the Red Bull, unless that's a little bit of lag on my screen. But yeah, and they're in 6th place, holding off a bit of a train behind him.
Well, it does absolutely enable drivers to make that overtake where it counts. King Lux ahead of Outer Rim on those mediums, going a little deep now into an exit from 17. And is that going to allow the Ferrari driver to make it past? It will. That is Outer Rim into 7th position. And this battle is not done yet, as King Lux vengefully is trying to make a move around the outside of the penultimate corner. Now lining up behind the Ferrari in the final corner, but just unable to get the drive to be able to make an overtake into the first. Likely this is a move that will have to happen later on in this lap. On board with Relapse, who is right on the back of Turkey in the Renault. Turkey, with the hard tires fitted, will be lacking grip on corner exit. The Alfa Romeo choosing to take the outside line. Will he just go all the way around the outside, taking that grip advantage and making it work for him? Yes, he does.
And Ace is just under a second behind Yoda, and he's catching, and we're going to see actually if he decides to take him, he's just a little bit behind actually as they're coming into the end of the long straight. But yeah, action all over the field here. Feels pretty spread out as well, and as we see the drivers get to grips. But those mediums, I wonder how long they'll actually last during this race.
Uncharacteristic for the Mercedes squad to be all the way down in 6th position, and a sporadic attendance might be to blame for that. At the moment, though, in the leading group, as we're still on board with Larson to see if he will make a move on Outer Rim, he will not. In the leading group, Richie trying to sneak a move down the inside, my goodness, of Yoda, taking space where there really was no space left. And sneaking his way up into first. Didn't quite catch a glimpse if that was 4 wheels off the track or not, but these drivers holding nothing back as they battle amongst each other. Now, curious to see if there will be any team strategy between Yoda and Pika, seeing as Pika is on a much newer set of soft tires and will surely have enough pace to maintain Richie's speed for the coming laps, but we will be looking to see if there is a wave by or if Yoda holds his ground and tries to fight for that podium position against his teammate.
Yeah, you would hope so, wouldn't you? Ooh.
Forgive me there, Zippy. It looks like Larson there being hit off the track by, was it Outer Rim, I think, in the 3rd sector. We just caught just the tail end of it on the replay here. Let's see if we can garner any insight from that. There they are on our screen, and it looks like, yes, the 2 cars did in fact touch, and that sent Larson off the track.
Yeah, yellow flag is sector 1 and 2 on
that is
my
Yoda.
Screen.
That is Yoda. That is... Oh, no, forgive me. No, that is not Yoda. My apologies. I think that was Pika spinning in the 1st sector, losing a spot to Anton Hollender.
Because Yoda was going into the pits for a set of hards along with some other drivers, and I did see a stationary Mercedes there in sector 1, and Ant's now into 3rd place. So yeah, maybe Pika had a bit of a spin.
And Outer Rim is disqualified from the session for the way it reads here is blocking the pit lane. There is significant damage on Pika's front wing here. Pretty much the entirety of the right side is gone. And I wonder if that was contact with Richie or if it was just a self-induced spin there. But unfortunately, Pika, who is on pace to keep up with Richie, now finds herself rapidly losing positions and in need of a pit stop exactly when she did not want one. Exit from turn number 7, but now right in the slipstream and with the DRS open, hardly any battery left on board the Alfa Romeo. However, Alex Perita locks up just ever so slightly into that chicane, and oh my goodness, and he spins off the track. Wow, that was just a nearly uncontrollable snap of oversteer on exit from turn number 9, and the Ferrari recovers just enough to keep it on the road and just take a little bit of front wing damage there, but that enables Relapse up into 5th position. Relapse now right on the back of King Lux, carrying all sorts of speed now on that optimal strategy, taking advantage of the safety car in order to, or forgive me, actually no, not taking advantage of the safety car, pitting later But now having much newer medium tires, it's going to look like a drag race between Relapse and King Lux down this first DRS straight. With the DRS open, the Alfa Romeo driver just sails past that racing point, and now he's going to be eyeballing Larson immediately in front on an equally old 11-lap medium, whereas Relapse is on that 5-lap medium tire that carries so much speed at this time. While making an attempt to leverage consistency and just a smoothness over the course of the entire season may complement Pika's blistering pace. Meanwhile, Richie making a move on the start-finish straight, getting past Hammonty for 7th position, and this has turned into a sort of recovery drive for Richie, who is in 7th position, just a few seconds behind Yoda here on the medium tire, so he will have a greater pace at the moment, but not entirely sure what's going to happen towards the end of the race when those mediums start to wear out.
Yeah, I was thinking 9 laps was pretty ambitious, but he's just made such a good move to stay ahead of Domi when he came out of the pit lane. I had to be very aware, and if those pit lane crew had been half a second longer, he'd have been stuck behind this Alpha Tower. But yeah, the Alfa Romeo is having a great race so far. 12 points they've got so far in this Constructors' Championship. Only Haas are behind them. If they carry on like this, they could be on for good points haul and go ahead of the likes of the Williams and the McLarens.
Bit of Portimao strategy there from the real F1 season, as quite possibly those softs just go off a cliff so quickly that, well, drivers are not trusting them to take them to the end of the race and have ample enough pace. Because, of course, with a tire, its ability to last long enough to actually take a driver to the end is one thing, but how much pace it will have while doing so is a whole other ballgame. A tire does not have to suffer a puncture to be non-viable for a driver. It needs to carry that pace, and if the soft compound falls off the cliff too early in its wear cycle, well then maybe that is something the drivers are electing to keep on the shelf and maybe for a later date.
You can put 2 seconds over the top 5 here. Relapse, Ace, Larson, Yoda and Volendrug. And look, we've got medium tyres on, we've got hards, and we've got Volendrug on the soft. So totally different strategies being played out right in front of our eyes with 8 laps to go.
And Richie, and holding back Yoda in turn with that dirty air. So we'll have to see if Volendrug can use the sheer grip in his soft tires to try to make a move down the inside of the first corner. He will take the inside line, and he will take the position home with him.
So yeah, hold the drug, Yoda, and Spooky Impervious making a pass there on the Renault. Trying to get past. He's in the middle of a McLaren sandwich, sorry, at the moment.
And Volendrug
and plate tapped. That's Spooky. Ant making his move up and get in the middle of that McLaren sandwich up in a P11. Get some more crucial points, Ant. You can do it.
Well, Ant is on the fresher tyres of all the people there ahead of him, so he could do on those medium tyres. You know, Turkey's on 18-lap old hards and Hammonty on 15-lap old hards. So, yeah, Ant could definitely be on for at least maybe a top 5 finish.
Make this move count. He will himself fall under attack from the train of cars immediately behind him. Domi into the pits, and by goodness, Turkey just locking up in every single corner, pushing those hards to the limit of their grip. And now he will have to defend the inside of turn 1. He cannot deliver, however, and that allows Rifler into P7, and that allows, of course, Ant now surely into P8 as he victimizes the Renault.
P8, look at a horrible day it's happening for the AlphaTauri drivers. Both of them in the box right now with damage.
Yeah, that was poor really, because you know, Imperius had to wait behind Domi while he gets his damaged Ranger and things replaced. So yeah, had to wait behind long pit stops.
Side by side now for side by side for Turkey and Tony Montana here, as the onboard cameras from these cars just refuse to cooperate, and Tony Montana manages to outdrag the Renault. Both he and Alex Parita going deep, however, into the chicane, and Turkey looking to be the beneficiary of that as he manages to get both cars in one turn. Alex Parita's going to have something to say about that, however, as he takes the inside on this straight.
And look at the battle up ahead there between the second and third place, I believe. Something switcheroo happening between these two guys.
It looked like a wave by for Volendrug there, as Relapse knew that
there it is.
Yeah, the Voldrug is going to have a lot more pace on those mediums. Oh my goodness, side by side for Tony Montana and Turkey, and now the McLaren being the victor through turn 17, taking 10th place, and Turkey just tumbling down the order at the moment, not having the best day behind the wheel of that Renault. We're going to go on board now with King Looks in 12th position, looking to size up a move past Turkey, the Renault driver, just falling and falling down the order. It looks like the parachute failed. The backup parachute quite possibly also failed, and that is Turkey down into 12th position on his 20-lap old hard tires. It certainly is not looking like the one-stop strategy is the one to be on today. Far, I'm going to make a preliminary vote for Relapse as he defends against Yoda. Podium or no podium, it's been a stellar drive for the Alfa Romeo driver, one of his best of the season, and a fighting drive as well, where he got a chance to show us his overtaking prowess as well as his defending skills.
ML Aldoni's just done a 135.7 to get the fastest lap away from Ace at the moment. Looking at the fasting laps, Domi 135.7, Ace 136.5, and Alex Pritter 130, Imperius 136.3, and Alex Pritter 36.7. Yellow flag in sector 2, that looks like it's for Renault.
Looks like Turkey losing that rear end of the car. Unfortunate for the Renault driver. It just looks like those tires cannot take any more abuse at the moment. Just reaching that point where all grip is just gone. And you can see him just fighting the car through the start of the third sector here, locking up the front tires. There won't be much left of that rubber by the time he gets to the line. We're just hoping that he actually gets to the line and does not suffer a puncture or anything of that sort.
I think Zipley's going to run away for that one, won't he? He's certainly stuffing that turkey full of puns this evening. There you go. So what can Volder do? 4.4 seconds away from Ace, who's, as I said, I called it, my driver. Well, I engineer him. Should be able to run away with this quite comfortably.
Yeah, he had to Larson and Heminti to virtually nothing, and now carrying so much pace is the Red Bull driver. He's going to make a move, wow, down the inside of turn 16, cutting the apex completely, but securing that overtake and elevating himself up at the 6th.
Mercedes.
Lag glitch again, sorry, he's got that, yep.
Does Yoda look okay? Has he got his front wing down? Not quite sure. I can see.
No, Yoda looks far from okay. That front wing is entirely missing from the Mercedes, and he has to go at a snail's pace here through the first sector. My goodness.
Come to sector 3 with Ace, and I'll let you take it away, Savage.
That I will. We'll get to Ace just as soon as we get a resolution of this battle here between King Looks and Rifler. King Looks leveraging that move into the first
Ace goes round. Ace is going around the last corner.
Let's jump on board with the Red Bull driver. He's going to do a burnout from the final corner, park it up, and do some donuts here. Not quite across the line just yet. There he is, crossing that line to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Thanksgiving's come out early, hasn't it, for Ace Ritchie? He's served up another win, or carved up another win, shall we say.
Oh, forgive me, Biggles. I'm just going to interrupt you right here as Alex Parita goes side by side with Heminti, the Renault driver, not leaving him any space here in the final sector as his hards have just absolutely gone off the cliff. Will the Ferrari be able to make a move into the final corner, get the switchback perhaps? He will do everything he can, and will he be able to pass the Renault on track? No, he is not, and he will leave.
He's got it with penalties, I believe. He should have it with penalties. No, he doesn't.
But Domi's going to 7th place.
Alex has 15 seconds. Alex has that time penalty award. That's the reason why I'm dropped all the way back. So at least he gets a point, but just ahead of Tony.
That's right. It looks like Domi, just through sheer clean driving, manages to bag a 7th position finish across the line as the likes of Rifler, King Lux, and Alex Parita getting penalized quite heavily for track infringements in this Grand Prix.
And Impervious obviously was really, really frustrated. If you look at the start and finish lane, him and Turkey just decided to bomb it into the side of the crash barriers, and that obviously shows that they're pretty frustrated with how they performed in this Pro 2 race tonight.
Well, emotions running high, but we wouldn't have it any other way here on Late Night Racing, and the driver of the day is Domi. Very difficult to come back from the very final position in qualifying and take points during the race at such a high level, but he did, and who really took their driving to the highest level is, of course, Ace Ritchie, who celebrates yet another win on top of the podium and on top of the championship table.
So Ace with 155 points, and his closest challenger Shonin is 56 points behind, so more than 2 races away. And yeah, so top 3 are still the same, and Wadomi in 4th place and Pika in 5th.
Great live standings from Zippy. We know Zippy is an educator, but I did not know he was that good at mental math. Now, let's run through the final order, the protocol for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It is Richie taking the win with Volendrug and Relapse, the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers splitting the rest of the podium. Then behind them, Larson, Ant, Haminti making it stick to the end on those really old hard tires. Then Domi in 7th, Rifler in 8th, King looks in 9th, and Alex Pareda rounds out the points paying positions. Then behind them, Tony Montana, Iceman, Turkey, Impervious, Yoda suffering a retirement, and then Pika, his teammate, much the same fate. Behind them, Adero, Quad, and Outer Rim round out the protocol.